Your business is going to be dictated on how well you can lead generate, and how you go about doing that is completely up to you because it's your business. This is the GPS group, agents helping agents reach their goals. There's no broker saying you need to do this, you got to do this. This is us helping each other reach our goals. Today, we have a special guest. Jaime Resendez is probably one of the best at YouTube I've ever seen. He's become a very, very close personal friend of mine, flew out to the summit to help us out there. And because of you and everybody's feedback saying that was just awesome, we said, Jaime, would you do us a favor? Would you come on back? Would you come back? And he's like, George, I got more to give. I got more that I missed. This is about YouTube. This is about Facebook leads. This is about, well, Jaime is going to cover a lot. One favor. I want you to find Jaime Resendez on YouTube. I want you to go there. I want you to subscribe to his channel. I want you to like it. And I want you to leave a comment because I'm pretty sure he's going to be taking this. Joe, let's make sure raw video goes to Jaime as well. Send him over a link somehow in there so he can get it. But you need to comment on what you got from this. If this appealed to you, make some comments. If we can get at least 30 or 40 comments on there, we're going to make sure he comes back and do it again. So just blow up his YouTube channel for him. And that's our way of saying thank you. Jaime, I am so glad you're here, man. Thank you for everything and your friendship. I appreciate you being here. It's all you, bro.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that warm welcome. I always love hanging out with y'all. Today, I'm a little bit under the weather. So I cannot, even if I tried, George, I could not match your energy. So I'm not going to try. Really, thank you so much for just the invitation. I always love engaging with this group. The GPS group is amazing. So Cool. Well, thank you so much for having me back. We are gonna get started right away. We're huge action takers all together. So let me see if I can share my screen and let me know if you're able to see the YouTube lead generation presentation.
Yes, sir.
Great. So thank you so much. All right. So for those of you that were at the summit, for those of you that I met, awesome. Thank you so much for just the community, for making it out there, investing in your business and growing and developing. But also for those of you that did not go, no worries. What we're going to do today is we're going to go fairly broad for a quick, maybe 15 minutes, but then we're going to get very micro. And we're going to get very micro in what actually matters in optimizing your videos. Because one of the things that came back after speaking with some of you, I don't know if Boston Dave is around here. Boston Dave invited me to a beer, but he didn't know that I don't drink. So I switched on him. I did the clickbait and he invited me to coffee. He didn't know it, but that's what we ended up doing. So based off of his feedback and several other individuals that I spoke with, the optimization of the video, selecting the topic, selecting the title, selecting the thumbnail, that's something that I really didn't cover all that well in our time together. So that's where we're going to spend most of our time here, because that's going to have meaningful movement, whether you have started a channel in the past, whether you're doing YouTube right now, whether you're thinking about doing YouTube. As long as you're getting the topic, the thumbnail, and the title right, you're going to see some meaningful movement in your business. And I'm not talking about just views. Views are awesome. They're great. They're awesome. However, at the end of the day, if nobody's reaching out to you, that's called a waste of time. If you're going to use YouTube as a lead generation source, as the title suggests, and nobody's reaching out to you, that's a good waste of your time, energy, and effort. And that's not what we're doing here. So we're going to get going. On today's agenda, we're going to go broad, as mentioned a couple of minutes ago. We're going to go broad, and I'm going to give you the workflow so you understand in context where we're digging into. As mentioned in the summit, regardless if you're making a soap opera, regardless if you're making a Hollywood video, regardless if you're making a YouTube video, the workflow for all intents and purposes is the same. So we're going to go broad and really attack the workflow on how to actually make a video and upload it to YouTube. But then we're going to get very, very micro and look at the video optimization. I'm going to give you some tools that are going to help you identify that topic, identify that thumbnail, and identify the title so you can actually get leads and movement in your business. And I'm just going to give you a quick start, just a little jump start so you know where to press, how to get out into production as soon as possible. All right, so YouTube workflow. The easiest way to remember this is an acronym, which is BOSS, RED, BOSRED, brainstorm, optimize, script, record, edit, and distribute. And you're going to see this in context and how I actually use it. I took a screenshot yesterday of my Trello board of where I manage everything that I do. So you see what it looks like. So we're going to go through it really quickly. So just remember BOSS RED, whether you're making a Hollywood video or you're making a YouTube video, this is the workflow. They don't call it the same, but this is the workflow that everybody goes through, including you. Brainstorm, you're thinking of ideas. What might be a good video that my buyers would want to watch, my sellers would want to watch, my investors would want to watch, real estate agents that I'm trying to attract? What questions are they asking for? That's you brainstorming, that's you coming up with video ideas. The next stage is optimization. This is where we're going to really drill deep on, because this is really where a lot of videos go to die. Because you have all of these ideas, you're thinking of, this video is awesome, this video might also be good, but at the end of the day, at the optimization stage, that's where a lot of your videos are going to die because they did not meet the 3 criteria. 1 was, is this the right topic? 2, what is the title? And then 3, what thumbnail am I going to use? That's what's happening at the optimization stage. So we're going to come back to this because we have about 4 slides solely dedicated to optimization. So we're going to keep going on the rest of the acronym, but know that in terms of everything that we're talking about today, it follows the YouTube flow, so the workflow, but also we're going to spend our time in the optimization phase because this is where your videos make it or break it. After you go through the optimization, you go to scripting. So let's just say you had some ideas, they pass through your optimization. Now you need to script them. Either you write everything out or you do some bullet points, or you just have a very vague idea of what the video, what you're going to say in the video. Then you're going to go over to record. So you've thought of an idea, it passed muster. So there you're going to optimize it, and then you script it. So you can do some bullet points. That's how I record my videos. I just do some bullet points. I don't script everything out. I don't write everything out. I just have a general understanding of what I'm going to say in the videos. And then I hit record. Where we fall flat on our faces, including myself, especially when I'm falling behind in my output, in my workflow, we try to go straight to record. And that's where we get frustrated because we don't know what to say. That's where we get frustrated because we selected a wrong video. We should not have made that video. So we bypass the brainstorming, we bypass the optimization, we bypass the script, and we try to get in front of the camera thinking that we're going to make a good video. So we're always operating in the red. So if you always operate in the red, so if you check out the rest of the acronym RED, if you always operate in the red, RED, record, edit, and distribute, it's going to make a bad YouTube experience because you're always in overdrive. You're always in front of the camera, not knowing what to say. You lack the confidence. You don't know where you're going in that video, and it shows. So that's where we get frustrated. Once we record, then we start editing. Now, editing is something that we'll talk in the fast start on how to get either better at it or just outsource it. Hint, it's going to be an outsource. And then we go on to distribute. So that means uploading it to YouTube. So this is, again, the entire workflow is boss red, brainstorm, optimize, script, record, edit, and distribute. Where we're going to spend most of our time today, or the rest of our time, is actually in the optimization phase. Any questions so far? I'm happy to slow down and address anything that comes up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little offended about the red part. You know, it hurts my feelings.
Oh, Red Johnson. Oh man, no, no bullying. Sorry, I'll sign the pledge, anti-bully.
Do me a favor, everybody. If you've got some questions that come up, why don't we put them in the chat box? If there's something that's relevant, I'll monitor it very closely as Jaime is going through this. If it's relevant to that part of it, we'll bring it up. If it's relevant to another part, we'll bring it up as well, and we'll cover them at the end for sure. And that way, or raise your hand and we can address it if it's something, but allow us the opportunity to carry through it. I think you're going to find that most everything is fairly well answered through the process, but we want to make sure that we represent everything that you guys have. So that being said, Jaime, we'll turn it back to you unless you want to clean up a spill.
Give me 2 seconds.
You got it. Wow, kind of cool. When you guys think about that with those the boss red, and what I missed completely is record, edit, and distribute, something that I'm very, very comfortable doing. But I don't know about y'all. The brainstorming, the optimizing, and the script, I'm falling on my face on. So I'm really digging the optimization part right now. How cool is that? As sick as he is, he's still here throwing stuff at us. I appreciate it, Jaime. I'll turn it back to you,
Sorry
brother.
about that. We're good. We're good. All right. So can you still see the presentation?
No, sir. It's not a screen share yet.
It's not a screen share. Okay. So that unshared.
Back at it again now. Thank you.
About now. Cool. Thank you so much. All right. So now, as I promised you, this is a little screenshot of my workflow. So at this point, I used to give a project management tool as a suggestion. At this point, I've stopped doing that. Now it's a must. Regardless, if you do the free versions of, there's Monday.com, there's Trello, there is Asana, there's a lot of other versions that you can use. But I use Trello. You don't have to use it. This isn't a plug for them. But this is going to help you so much. It's going to help you in organizing your thoughts. It's going to help you, as you can see here, I have my brainstorm column, all the videos that I have in production that I'm brainstorming through, that I'm optimizing, that I'm scripting, that I'm going to record, and then that I send over to edit, distribute. And then I added a promote feature or a promote thing, but that's just, you don't have to do that. So from a visual, it helps you by far, but also from a production standpoint, it's going to help you out even more because now you know where your videos are. Now you know that as soon as you click on, let's just say if I was going to say 5 ways to get real estate listings in today's market, down in the middle where it says record, I know all of my energy goes into that. So I can pull in articles, I can write in notes, I can add certain team players to this card. So if I wanted to create a graphic, I would add one of my VAs to this card and ask that individual to create an animation for me or something to that effect. So you're able to add other people into your workflow. This particular board, I'm only sharing it with my editor. So once I hit edit, then my editor knows to take that video and start editing it. So it's the exact same workflow. So if I back up for a quick second, you see that it's the exact same workflow. Brainstorm, optimize, script, record, edit, and distribute. And that's how I'm operating in the workflow. So that's the workflow, the video production that I have at this present time. So again, this was the broad, this was the macro, this is you understanding what it takes to make a video, whether you're doing a YouTube video or a Hollywood video, this is what's happening. Now, once you have some clarity on that, we're going to spend the rest of our time with video optimization. And this is where we miss it as entrepreneurs, as realtors, as any other profession that you could think of. This is where we miss it, myself included. So I have actually taken a pause on YouTube for a couple of days and really optimizing what this looks like for me. Not the workflow, but more the optimization and the direction of my channel. So these are the only 3 things that I'm focused on during my little time away. So I've been away from YouTube for about 2 weeks, just for some context. I do own, operate, and manage over 10 YouTube channels personally. My primary channel, the one that y'all see, is the one that I use for real estate agents. I have others that I'm working on independently on at the moment. But I've taken a pause on my primary channel, and that channel is specifically for real estate agents. And I am just defining what this looks like for everything that I do on that channel moving forward. So I am really looking deep at the topics that I'm going to cover. I'm really looking deep at the titles that I'm going to be creating. And I'm really looking deep at the thumbnails that I'm going to do. Because at this point, this is the most important part for my money. This is the most important part. And this was crystallized after our presentation in Orlando. This really was crystallized for it because this is where we miss it the most. So here's what this means. When we're looking at video optimization, what topics are you going to cover? And when I say that, I mean, is there traffic? I mean, are people looking for this? Is there utility in the video that I'm creating? And you may, right off the bat, you may be thinking, yeah, of course, I'm going to do this. Yeah, it makes sense. But is it though? I really want you to answer that for yourself for any video that you're looking to make, because there's some numbers can help you. And you'll go through this slide and the next slide are going to give you some resources to help you with, is there traffic? Are people searching for this? Are people looking for, here's an example, how to sell house by owner. So if you look, how to sell house by owner is one search. And here on the left-hand side, it's going to be hard for you that are on mobile to see it, but there's an extension called Keywords Everywhere. You see that at the very bottom, Keywords Everywhere. It's an extension. It's about $10 for 100,000 searches, which is very inexpensive. What it does, it pulls in traffic. It lets you know how many times it's been searched per month, what the cost per click is, the competition. So this is basically off of Google Ads. It runs off the back of Google Ads, where advertisers, they get the information on how many times is this being searched, what's the cost per click on that, and also what's my competition on it. So if you look at some subtle nuances, this is what I wanted to demonstrate to you. Is there an audience? Is there traffic? The difference between how to sell house by owner, it has 4,400 searches every single month, versus how to sell home by owner, the only difference being house and home. You see here that it drops by 3,100 searches per month. So hopefully you can see this okay, but on the top again, house, it produces 4,400 searches per month. And when somebody types in home, just one word difference, it's 1,300 searches per month. So this is, again, this is you trying to understand, is this a topic that I want to cover, right? This is helping you address that. Is there a demand for this? And if so, statistically, what type of demand are we seeing? This helps you address that question. Now, I'll cover another quick resource that you can do, or you can have, which is Keyword Explorer. This, you can do the free extension, which is connects to your YouTube channel and it's absolutely free. If you want some additional features, then yeah, you will have to pay up for it, but you don't have to. So these are the tools that you can use to see traffic. Any questions so far? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, in the Keyword Explorer, just a little quick overview. You can check this out on your own, but there's just some quick little features that are helpful to you. You see the search volume, you see just some indicators. Is there a ton of search volume? It's going to go over to green. It's going to give you a green indicator. The competition, is there a good amount of competition? Then it's going to go to red. The greener it goes, the less competition there is. The optimization strength, this one, it's a little gimmicky, so I don't use it that much. So we're going to forgo it. But basically what it says is, if you title it this way, you're going to get views. I don't suggest that you use TubeBuddy for that way, because it's not that accurate. What's most important to us is to see how many videos are on the topic. So number of videos in the search results. There's quite a bit, as you can see here, 33 million that have something to do with selling house by owner. Don't think that there's 33 million videos that are titled that way, but based off of real estate, based off of selling, based off of house, it gives you an indicator of how many videos are out there. And then also gives you an indicator on the number of monthly searches that are being done. And this is more on the YouTube side, but this is just another tool that's going to give you an understanding of topic. Now, again, with any tool out there, whether that's Keywords Everywhere or TubeBuddy, we're not using these as we're going to do everything they say. No, we're going to infuse some common sense. What we're doing is using this tool as it's supposed to be, as a tool, as an aid, as a way to help us, because we're still trying to solve for the topic. That's all we're doing right now. Is there traffic? Is there demand? Does this topic make sense within our channel? So we can go very, very deep. We're not going to, but we could go very, very deep in just that one bullet point alone. What is our topic? Does it make sense on our channel? Am I speaking to the first-time home buyer that my channel was supposed to be about? Am I speaking to the investor? Do the investors care about floral patterns on whatever? I struggle with the examples right now, but all of this is based off of the topic, right? So we're still trying to solve for this topic, which includes the traffic, which includes, does this make sense for my channel? And we're talking about video optimization. So let's not lose sight of where we are right now, because we have brainstorm. We're still in the optimization stage. We can't even get to scripting if we're about to make the wrong video. I'll go to an extreme example. You're real estate agents. Everyone hears about real estate agent, I believe, or in some field of real estate, So your content is designed to get buyers, get sellers. For all intents and purposes, that's it. Well, you brainstorm all these different ideas. And then let's just say for whatever reason, you wanted to show how to make a cake. I don't know, just random, how to make a cake. Well, at the optimization stage, you're going to have to flesh that video out, because if you go on to make that video, now you've expended resources in scripting that out, whether with time or if you had somebody else do that for you. You spend some time recording that, you spend some time editing that, and then you spend some time distributing that. So meaning uploading it to YouTube and or any other platforms, only to find out that your audience that you had isn't going to watch that video because it doesn't serve them anything. It doesn't help them in any way. So you get frustrated when you upload a video and 12 people show up to watch that video, right? So that's why we really have to spend a lot of time in our optimization phase, because that's going to be the difference. Not all of it, but for the most part, it's going to be the difference between you making a successful video that brings you in clients versus videos that don't get views and don't bring you clients. Does this make sense? Awesome. So those two tools right there, keywords everywhere, and TubeBuddy, those are good tools to have. Just TubeBuddy, keywords everywhere, those are good tools to have. Don't make them your sole decider on if this video is going to, am I going to make this video, but use them as what they're supposed to be, which are tools. And I think I called TubeBuddy Keywords Explorer earlier. Sorry, it's TubeBuddy. All right, so now we're going to go into a little bit of mixing in some tools and mixing in some topic and identifying our title. So we have the topic right here. That's what we're trying to solve for. And we're trying to figure out what is going to be the best title for our video, right? So this is where we blend both worlds together. So if you go to YouTube, YouTube is going to help you out a ton. It's the same, it's off the same I shouldn't say same technology, but since Google is the parent company of YouTube, they operate very similarly. So if you go to YouTube and you go to how to sell house by owner and you stop right there, YouTube will autofill what's being commonly searched right now. So in a way, YouTube is actually completing your title. How to sell your house by owner. If you happen to be in Ohio, you see it's heavily searched. How to sell house in Indiana, how to sell in PA, in New Jersey, and Michigan. So one of the questions that comes up all the time is, well, Jaime, I want to be local. I don't want to help somebody in New York when I'm in Texas. Well, you don't have to. And you don't need to compete at the global stage. Sorry, it's my alarm. Let me get one of my nephews ready for school. 2 seconds.
Y'all notice not feeling well and doing this, and he's still got a suit on, ready to go. It's all about that presentation. It's just something I wrote down. How cool is that? Are you prepared for what you're doing? Is what resonates with me.
2 seconds. He's maybe he got too comfortable in the covers. I just got to wake him up, and we leave for school in 20 minutes. 2 seconds.
So one of the things that goes to me, and I'm doing our darndest to get into YouTube, and I feel like we've dropped the ball on the optimization part and finding the right topic. We kind of just think, I do, that, hey, this is what I want to talk about, but I didn't do the research to say, how do I describe what I'm talking about? And is it actually relevant? Has anybody else who's doing YouTube run into that where you're like, oh, I've got this great topic, and then just run with it. And from there, create a title. That's my challenge. So this is like right on point for me.
Okay, sorry about that. So when we're looking at the titles, one of the questions that comes up is, can we be local? And this is how you become local. You don't have to compete at the global stage or the national stage. This is how you bring YouTube to your neck of the woods. Now, because you don't want to share, nor are you able to, you don't want to share how to sell a house by owner in another states, because it could be different. In fact, it is different. So if you're making this video, you're better served by making it local, because one, it's going to actually bring you leads, but also it's something that you can speak to more directly, because selling your home in New York versus Texas is different. Does that make sense? So as we're talking about title, it used to be where you could just keyword stuff anything in the title and it would work. And when I say keyword stuff, would be keywords that you would love to be associated would be top realtor in Dallas. Anybody would kill to have the #1 ranking on Google and on YouTube for that. And it used to be where you could put top realtor in Dallas and then put your name next to it and you were ranked #1. That's no longer the case. So in the past, you used to be able to keyword stuff, but now you can't get away with that. Now you actually have to focus more on titling a video the way that people will actually search for that, the way that people will actually speak. So you typing in top realtor Dallas, top realtor Dallas, top realtor Dallas as a title, it's not going to work for you, because YouTube is too sophisticated at this point. So an exercise here is, if you're struggling to come up with the title, come here to the YouTube search and wordsmith it out. YouTube gives you the suggestions. And on top of that, if you were, I wasn't sure about the internet stability, or else I would have done this live, but how to sell house by owner. And if I type in A, if you will, like just start with an A, it'll autofill everything that starts with A. I delete the A and I put how to sell house by owner and then type a B, it'll autofill everything that starts with the B. So you go through the entire alphabet there. So it's giving you different ideas, giving you different ways to search for titles, giving you a different way to come up with the video that you're wanting to create. All right, so that's speaking to the titles. We're going to move to thumbnails. Before we get to thumbnails, any questions so far?
I have one. Sorry, go ahead. Whoever's saying that.
That was me, Terry. That was on YouTube title search, correct? That's where you were on, because I'm looking at mine now, and I've got a search insights and a search explorer.
On the search, on just search.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hey, Jaime, how are you doing? It's Mateo.
Good.
Welcome back, first of all. There are a couple of questions that they have. One is about pricing on Google Ads attached to your YouTube channel. Do you know if the prices change, or is there like a monthly subscription that is a standard? And the other one is, how detailed does the script has to be when you're in the script mode for the video, when you're making the script for the video? Thank you.
Great questions. So the first the first answer, I believe, was not necessarily towards Google Ads. It was more toward Keywords Everywhere, the tool. That tool is about $10 for 100,000 searches. Now, like when it comes to Google Ads, what it's giving you, the cost per click, it's giving you intel on this is what advertisers are paying for one click. So this is all data that if you ever run Google Ads ever, you actually get this information on the back end. So you as an advertiser, you would have access to this. So you could see, do I have the budget to actually compete in this with these keywords? So it's two different things. One is a tool, Keywords Everywhere. And then Google Ads it gives you Google Ads information, monthly searches, cost per click, and the competition to actually show up with those keywords that you're bidding for. Does that make sense?
Correct. I think we were a little bit confused about I think we were mixing the two. We thought that they work together, but now we understand that it's a separate system. Correct. And they give you different data. Okay. Thank you very much.
Correct. Now, the other question on the scripting, it's up to you. If you can riff like George can riff like no other, I mean, he probably doesn't need to write anything down and he's gonna just knock it out. If you're, no, don't shake your head. That's true, George. If you're somebody that needs a little bit more guidance, then write a few more things down. It's about confidence. It's about yourself. People aren't gonna know unless you make it known that you're reading something. So if you script things out, practice a little bit on, being able to speak organically as opposed to just reading something on the screen. So however much context you need for you to remember what point you're trying to convey is the right answer. If you're the type of person that cannot go 3 words without stumbling, that's okay. That's me. Then write a few more things out and then read them in a more organic way, or just write a few points that you want to cover and then just speak from there.
There's two things to piggy on that, because you can also buy a scrolling monitor where it gives you your script and it goes through it. It's a little more challenging to keep track of that, but you can absolutely do it. But think of this, if you guys can see me talking, for me to have a conversation where I'm looking into the camera and I look off to the side to refocus my notes is not a bad thing. It doesn't take away from the validity of the conversation. That's where your bullet points come in. And that's what I've found through some practice. If you can wing it, great. If you need like 10 topics, you probably have too much on that particular video. But there may be some like subtopics inside of there, just an observation. And I think we have Joey with his hand up as well. Joey, what's up, Mr. RI?
So quick question, Jaime. I don't want to take away your steam if you're going to get into it. You started to talk about getting hyper local. And I'm not sure if you're going to elaborate on that moving forward, or if not, I'll wait to ask my question.
I wasn't, so that's a great question. Okay. Was there something on hyperlocal that you would like for me to hit?
Yeah. So are you using those tools to get hyperlocal, or are you going on the back end of Google and actually using that keyword finder tool to get those suggestions?
I'm using Keywords Everywhere, which does it for me. I could easily go to Keyword Planner, which is where it's taking the information from, and get those. But for me, I can do the searches straight on YouTube and it gives me back those results. I could easily go over to, I shouldn't say easy. You could go over to keywords, the Keyword Planner via Google Ads tool, but this one makes it so much easier. But something that you talked about, hyperlocal, I want to make sure I cover that part. It's easy to overly go local to where you become so niche that it just doesn't make sense for you to make that video. Now, that's a decision that you have to make. If you are advertising a master plan community where they're going to put 500 homes, that might be a video worth making. So here locally, if you type in like Mansfield, which is a town here in Dallas-Fort Worth, south of Dallas-Fort Worth, Mansfield, new homes, I'm still ranking top 2 or 3 in for new homes in Mansfield, because I was a master plan community where 6 builders were going to go in. 2 of them were actually luxury builders. And that video made sense. It got a couple thousand views, so I didn't get much, but these are a couple thousand views of people that are looking to live in Mansfield, buy new homes. So it made sense for me to make that video. So if
Are
you
you-
get so local to a neighborhood that nobody's going to watch, then expect those results.
And are you putting the location in the title, or are you just generalizing that?
In
And
that
then
case, I do
Google-
put the location.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what you got, sir?
My question, Jaime, is how you doing, man? I hope you're feeling better.
Appreciate it.
My question for you today is, when you script out your videos, what's your focus on time? What's
Good
YouTube's
question.
focus on time?
That is just so loaded. That's a loaded question. There are some videos that are 20 minutes in length and that have a ridiculous watch time. There's some videos that are 2 minutes in length and have no watch time. So as opposed to thinking about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 12 minutes, 30 minutes, the one number that matters to you is retention rate. So this is getting a little bit nerdy, but I have to go here. Whenever you create a video, you get the analytics from YouTube on everything. So after day 2, once it starts analyzing data, YouTube is going to tell you, on average, 32% of your viewers stayed to watch the entire video. If you have a 32% retention rate, that's bad. If you have a 20% retention rate, that's bad. That means only 20% made it to the end. Where you want to start being is above 50% plus. Meaning, once I make a video, if I'm not hitting 50% or more, either that video is too long, I'm not keeping people's attention, the topic was not right, something in this video is causing some pain. And that's such a great question. I need to put a graph on that and show that, because it's going to answer your question. So what you're going to find is, once you start making videos and you see that, I feel pretty good. I think 12 minutes is right where I want to be. I feel good about my topics. I cover all the points that I want. But when you go to your analytics and you're finding that only 25% of the audience stays to the end, you have a problem. Either that topic is too large, you're trying to include too much into one video, or you're not doing a good enough job of engaging. Either you're not showing visuals, you're not showing B-roll, you're not entertaining people or keeping their attention long enough to stay to the end. There's a disconnect there. So it's a very loaded question that I can't give you an answer to. The most important thing for you is going to be look at your retention rate. And that's one of the big reasons that I stopped. Just full transparency, I stopped, and because right now I was averaging about 40% retention rate, and that's not good. So at this point, I was on one video a day for 2 years. So I did 750 videos consecutively, but I've stopped that practice. Until I can make better videos, I cannot be back on the platform, on that channel at least. The others, I'm printing money on the other channels. That sounds arrogant, but I can't stop over there. Here, I do have the luxury of stopping. Does that help in any way? I'm sorry, that's such a cop-out answer, but just giving you as much as I could there.
It was huge.
No, I mean, again, it's also something else to look at when you're doing the video, is to make sure that your analytics
It's the
are
only
good.
thing to look at,
So
Jonathan.
I wasn't really,
It's the only thing to look at, because what you're gonna find is,
big nugget.
are my topics right? Right? Just like people click in it because they like me, but then they leave immediately. So
Right.
anyway, I won't belabor that point.
I may have a question for you real quick.
I'll pick your
and
brain about
let's
that
move on
later.
because I know it's important. With your YouTube channel, your entire YouTube channel, if you've got a bunch of videos on there that are not performing at all, that aren't doing anything, does it pull down your YouTube rating, or do they focus YouTube only on the specific videos?
You're only as good as your next video.
Awesome. Thank you. So whatever you have doesn't matter. Keep going, move forward, right?
Yeah, as long as you're in the same niche. If you're baking, and then you get recategorized, and you start making other videos, then you're going to be recategorized.
Okay.
So that's a double-edged sword. That kind of goes against what I said, but if you completely change radically your content, then you're going to get recategorized. So for me, another thing for my channel is I used to rank very, very high on everything real estate / realtor related, but I got recategorized because I made such successful videos in the Facebook pixel, Facebook marketplace, to where I hit general social media. And that's fine. There's a bigger pond over there, but I didn't want to swim in that pond.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yeah. Now,
All right, thumbnails.
to finish this point off on the thumbnails, on the left-hand side, what I did was I just typed in how to sell house by owner. Just something that had, I think this one had 4,400 searches a month. On the left-hand side are just the first 4 videos that you're going to find. On the right-hand side, I scroll down to further pages. So think of this like page 10, page 20 of YouTube. And hopefully none of the realtors that made the ones on the right are here, but you can see the differences. Now, the ones on the left-hand side, these are ranked number 1 through 4. The ones on the right, well, it's not the only reason that they're on page 10, 12, 15, 30, whatever page they're on. It's not the only reason, but their title certainly isn't helping them, or their thumbnail certainly isn't helping them. So what I want to illustrate here is that thumbnails matter. Thumbnails should not be your afterthought. I made this, I shared this in the summit because I have this I have YouTube coaching with the same coach that that coaches Mr. Beast, which he's the fastest growing creator on the platform right now. And something that he mentioned really resonated with me, that Mr. Beast, who's got 60, 70 million subscribers, however many subscribers he has, he doesn't create a video unless he can see the thumbnail first. So just to put things into context, he makes videos that cost him $500,000, $1 million to make. So he's making a video, he's making a Hollywood style video every single, or in terms of cost, every single time. So he has to hit it right because he's not going to make his money back. So for him to invest that much thought into the thumbnail, it really hit home with me that I need to get things right. So most important thing here is getting your thumbnails on point. It may cost you 5 to 10, 15, 20 bucks per thumbnail. It's well worth your investment. Don't forgo this expense if you don't have the creativity, if you don't have the design skills. This is a money maker for you. It's not an expense. It will actually be an investment for you. Awesome. We'll hit the scale quickly, and then we can open up for questions or anything that comes up. Outsource your thumbnails. I strongly am a big proponent of that now. I know it sounds like an expense, but it's actually an investment. Thumbnails, if you go to Fiverr or Upwork or anywhere, it's going to cost you anywhere from 5 to 20 bucks per thumbnail. Outsource editing, that's going to cost you anywhere from $20 to $100 per video, depending on the video that you're making. Now, if you find joy in design, if you find joy in editing, if you want to do that, by all means do it. But if you're looking to scale quickly and use this as a lead generation tool, then I strongly suggest that you go ahead and outsource those 2 things, because those are going to be those don't require you. You require you. The content requires you. This doesn't. These are not afterthoughts by any stretch of the imagination, but these are skills that people go to school for, that people spend hours and years into mastering their craft, even independent of school, that these done by a professional versus an amateur, which is what I would be in this world, you can tell the difference is night and day. And then using a project management tool, again, that's something I highly suggest anybody that's looking to get started with that. That's all I had. What questions do we have?
Well, I'm going to do a shameless plug and kind of take over the mic for just a second. You said something to me that I wasn't announcing, and you were going to talk about as far as working more closely with you. and it was a platform that you were creating, or why don't you tell us what you had in mind?
Yeah, no, well, thank you, George, for the opportunity. Last time that I came, I got a few questions. The first time that I came, I got a few questions, and it really got me thinking of, I have no way to serve not just y'all, but agents altogether in terms of helping with this outside of one of my classes, outside of one of my courses and things of that nature. So after spending a few months just thinking through it, and then also just trying to find how it could look, I ended up reaching out to, actually, he is one of the largest creators in the space right now as a realtor, practicing realtor, by the way, and YouTuber. His name is Javier Vidania. He's got like 10 million views on YouTube, something silly like that. He's got 120,000 subscribers on YouTube. So he and I aligned very much on, the way that we look at YouTube and what it can do for our businesses. So he and I paired up and created a group coaching program for those agents that are looking to go into YouTube. And it's not necessarily I know I just call it group coaching, but it's more of a mastermind where he shares his channel, the back end. I share my channel in the back end. We look at every agent's channel, and we give suggestions on what the next title should be, what the next thumbnail should be. So just think of the optimization stage that we just covered. That's what we drill down very, very heavily on. So we have a program. It's a monthly program. We meet up every 2 weeks, so twice a month. We meet up for about 90 minutes, and we share, what's working right now on YouTube. So it's more of a mastermind, and it's something that is available to everybody here. Everybody, if you just go to YouTubeAgentMastery.com, you're going to find it. We're not looking to retire off of that, to be honest with you, because we have our own ventures things, but he gets a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions. And our only answer previously was, man, I just don't have time. And so that's a program that we created that he and I are spearheading to help out from YouTube, because we figured out a few things that have, again, don't take this the wrong way. I don't say this in an arrogant way, but we are printing money at this point through YouTube in different verticals. So he is on the practicing side. I am doing just the referral game in key markets that I've opened some channels in. So we know a lot of things about YouTube that we launch a few things and they go to work for us. So if you're interested in that, just go into YouTube Agent Mastery. It's a month-to-month program. You don't have to sign up for a contract or anything else like that. But if you're looking to take YouTube seriously and mastermind with folks that are operating at a high level, I encourage you to check it out. And thank you, George, by the way. That's awesome.
So this is not, and we'll jump into the questions, but I wanted to do this, make sure we get that. This is something that he talked about with me privately, and he wasn't prepared to bring this out. I just wanted you all to know it because it's something I'm interested in. I need that guiding, that coaching. However, I am going to advise you that the first thing you must do is find Jaime Resendez on YouTube, subscribe to his channel, get the notifications. You're going to see what is already working, and it'll be real-time stuff. It helps him too. It's our way of saying thank you. So find him on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, open the notifications. If you see something you like, comment on it, because that helps his algorithm, and that's how we can say thank you for what he's done. More importantly, though, when you go into that channel, search, how do I set up optimization? There's stuff on there. Search, how do I use YouTube to generate buyer leads? There's information on there. Utilize what's already there. If you really dig in it, you want to get deeper, then you might want to explore something like a YouTube coach. This would be an entry-level way at which to do so before you went crazy. Now, for a reference point, Jaime, how long have you been doing YouTube in years?
3 years.
3 years. So after 3 years, I'm assuming the first year you didn't have a lot of momentum. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. And then all of a sudden it would hockey stick and it started ramping up. And now because you have that, you're basically in mastery, you're able to take it to different things besides what your initial focus was. And now you can expand out into other, as you said, verticals that'll help you grow. Guys, it's a business decision that takes time on task over time. That's all I had to say on that one. I just wanted to make sure we got that clear. Mateo the Extraordinary, what a killer name. I love that. That is his name, Mateo the Extraordinary. Hit it, brother. It's all you. You're on mute, bro. Maybe he was just saying a high five. That's cool. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Jaime, your thumbnails, you're just getting them done from somebody else once you figure out like what your title is and
Yes, I come up with the idea, and then I just have the designer implement it.
okay. Can I ask where you're getting them?
Sure. His name is Nick on Air. Nick on Air off of YouTube. Not YouTube, I'm sorry. Fiverr.
Nick,
If you type in Nick on
AIR.
Air, and I put it in the chat too.
Appreciate it.
So you have surprise faces on a lot of them where you see this or something like that. Does it make a difference, or can you actually just, give them the gangster face?
You know, it's something that we identified here, and we shared this in the mastery program, was that the closer that you were to the camera for a while, it was actually getting us like a 0.5% higher click-through rate. It was just, instead of being a wide or a fuller body shot and just kind of zooming in a little bit, it made 0.5% increased click-through rate.
What about the expressions?
That we haven't gotten that close on. What we try to do is match what the tenor of the video is. So if we're shocked, if we're angry because something changed, so we kind of match the title to the.
Do you have a bunch of stock photos that you work from? God bless you.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I just take a bunch of pictures.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you. Mateo, do you have a question, sir?
Yes, I'm sorry. I got disconnected just when you were telling my name. Hey, yes, the question is, Jaime, you have right now, I think on your YouTube channel, a seminar or workshop that we can subscribe to, or we can start working on it. Is it that different from the plan that you're working on with that you mentioned to George about it? And what is the difference really?
Of a YouTube workshop?
Yes, there is like
question?
a seminar that is going on. Yes, right now.
That's where we are right now.
Okay. That's the same thing then. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
what we need to know. Good question, Mr. Extraordinary. Folks, we got a couple more minutes with him before he's got to take his nephew.
Actually, he's waiting for me at the door. So I have to get this kid get
All
to
right, well,
school. So
Jaime.
I am sorry, I have to jet.
Dude, thank you very, very much. I am going to reserve the right to call you back again, if nothing else, just for a fireside chat, you and I. I'm sure I'll catch up with you soon. Folks, like his channel. Do that right now. Go into, as soon as we're done, I want you to do that. It will make a big difference. I use it as a reference point. I know Tiffany does. I know Joe does. And there's a bunch of others as well. Jaime, feel better. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day, buddy. I'll catch up with you soon.
appreciate you.
One more thing.
Thank you.
This is a thank you note from Jaime, and it's on my desk. I keep it all the time right here. I love it, dude. That was awesome. Handwritten thank you note made such a difference. See you in a bit.
Thanks, Jaime.
Have a great day.
Jonathan
you.
Masters, stick around. You're in call. I need you on this call. Jonathan, are you here still? Jonathan Master, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, cool. Jonathan, I've got to, I want to show you all something that Jonathan did, and it was awesome. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find you, Jonathan Master. I don't know if I can. Jonathan, are you in front of a computer? Or are you on your phone, bud?
No, I'm on my phone.
That's cool. That's cool. I got it. I found this. All right. So check this out, everybody. This is Jonathan came up to the mega open house, which is now the extraordinary open house. Thank you, Mateo, and created this video. I don't know the analytics. I don't know anything behind it. What I do know, though, is that it's exactly what we're just speaking about. And Jonathan has a certain level of skill that I've seen. John, can you give us some feedback on what you got from Jaime, some things that you may have applied that you already knew, or things that were new that were going to help you, please?
Jaime, that was excellent. That's really helped me out a lot. Has been a teleprompter app for my phone. So I'll type up my script, I'll go over it, I'll put it in the teleprompter. It actually helps to keep me a little bit more on point instead of falling off point, which I found that I was doing often. So I have a lot of B-roll of going on and on and on. And he said, don't throw that away. That stuff is good. You can use it again or somewhere else. So that, I also got that from him, which was great.
So the teleprompter is an app. If you just search it, you can go online and search that for, if you want to use your phone for
You can get it for Android or iPhone. It's the same thing. It's actually really cool. You type everything you want into your notes app on your iPhone. Just copy and paste in the teleprompter, and then and you can adjust the speed that it but it will record you as it's rolling through the screen. So it's you camera. It's amazing. It helps out a lot.
You can read as you want to. And again, remember what I was saying, if you're filming it and you're doing this and you've got somewhere on the side or even right below on, if you've got a stand or you're using a handheld, you may have written in a 3x5 card that has your notes in big bold pen so you can read it. It's nothing if you're looking on camera and you have to glance off and reposition yourself. Now, something that you did, Jonathan, that I thought was really impressive, and this is for all of us that are kind of thinking of getting started. He had pictures. Now, as you know, when we do our extraordinary open houses, we had a sign spinner out there. We had all these signs. So we had video of the sign and the sign spinner, and then talked over that through the editing process. How hard was it, Jonathan, to learn to chop out visual and drop it in and keep the audio track the same?
While you got to play with the editing tools. I did that whole movie in iMovie.
Okay. How long did it take?
I spliced, well, it took me probably about an hour. But if I was just starting, maybe a 3-hour tour on that one. Just trying to get getting everything cut and trimmed is probably the hardest part.
And this was an 8-minute movie as a reference point. 8-minute movie. And I don't know exactly how to do it. And if somebody comes up with it, but think about that. You may go through what your audio is, because if you're talking through it, or you may decide to do that and then do audio over the top of it, which works as well with your live feeds. I'm not an expert on that, but I'm positive that in the editing section of Jaime Resendez's videos, that there's something in editing in there too. And this is something, if you want to do this, I happen to know, I didn't ask him on camera. Let's do this, folks. That's kind of the summary. We'll cut this off. Can you do me a favor, Tiff? Can we stop both recordings, please?